What's up, Owls? This is Mr. O. I know we did these notes in class today, but I want to do them as flip notes so I can put them up on the website just in case you want to go back, look at them, review them, or have my examples verbally there maybe to help you study or things like that. Remember, this is the table I gave you in class to fill out. This is how I'll go through the notes. Remember, each one is based off of how it connects to food chains and food webs. And for example, matter, the next one, we do a very general thing with matter, but we'll get into a very big unit of matter after that. So start with matter. Let's go with that first. Matter is two different things when it's in a food chain or food web. It is transferred either from one organism to another. That can be animal to animal, like a wolf eating a bunny, or it could be an animal to a plant, like a cow eating grass. Also, we have transfer between organisms and their environment. This could be several different ways. An example would be a decomposer, breaking down a dead animal or plant. Also could be an animal simply going to the bathroom in the woods, and that's passing of matter from the organism to the environment. A couple examples there for you as we go forward. Next in your chart is water, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. These are very technical sometimes. However, in 6th grade, you just need to know these are cycled between living and non-living things. For example, the water cycle, the carbon cycle. We talked about how carbon dioxide and oxygen are cycled through photosynthesis and cellular respiration. So that's bringing back an old unit and putting it into this unit. Next on your list is food. Most importantly, it's glucose. And this is for all living things, plants included, even though they make their own. They give two things: building materials, which means you can grow from it. People grow and plants grow and get stronger and build roots. And also provide fuel. That's the cellular respiration connection to this unit. The fuel being energy for plants and animals to use. Next up is energy. Remember, this is energy flows in an ecosystem in one direction. The most horrible band in the world, however, it's also how energy travels in an ecosystem. And it will go from the sun to the producers that have chlorophyll that can convert that into glucose, to consumers that eat the producers. This can be multiple levels from primary to secondary to tertiary. Also, scavengers are in there. And then that ends up with decomposers that will put nutrients back in the soil for the producers to grab while they grow into new plants or stronger plants the next year. Next up is sun or sunlight, and this provides energy for plants to make glucose. Here's your photosynthesis connection into this unit. So you're starting to see all our units are starting to blend together a little bit, and that's the beauty of coming back to each unit. As it spirals around, you get to see the connections from one unit to the next. Next up is the general definitions of food chain and food web. We have food chain is this one complete cycle from a producer to a decomposer. And it's just one chance of what could happen to grass. A cow can eat that, a wolf could eat that, maggots can be in the wolf after it dies, and that can be broken down. But a food web are all the chains within an area or an ecosystem. Now, you wouldn't do a food web for a biome because there would be so many animals connected. A web is just simple, a web of chains, food chains, and the connections between those food chains. For example, if you look up to the food chain example, grass, cows are not the only thing that eats grass in a farm. You could also have rabbits and goats and bugs, and there's multiple things that eat that grass, and there's multiple things that could eat the cow, or there's multiple things that could eat that bunny. So you got to keep in mind, food webs show you all the possible scenarios in an area or an ecosystem. Typically it's an area, not just an ecosystem. Next up, we have green plants. Remember, you don't have to be green to be a green plant. It just means you have chlorophyll in there. You have the producers of food that are used either directly or indirectly by all consumers. Directly means you're directly eating those plants. Indirectly means you're an animal that only eats meat, so you're getting the energy from an animal that once ate plants or once ate plants a couple times over before you get it. Then we have producers. These obtain their energy directly from the sun via photosynthesis. They produce their own food. If you look at the root word, it's produce, to make, and that makes sense why producers would make their own food. Next up is the category humans are in, which is consumers. They need to consume glucose from other sources to survive. Root word is consume, to take in, and then this includes scavengers. I wrote eat dead things because they don't hunt down their food. They wait for food that's already been hunted to eat and consume. And then decomposers, root word compose, which is to make, and then decompose, to unmake. They break down dead organisms, which could be animals and plants, and return those nutrients to the environment. Kicking in our soil unit here, remember the nutrients in the ground help plants grow. Hopefully these are helpful to you if you need to look back and review and study for your quizzes and other things. Talk to you in class if you have any questions.